What if I was in the shoes of being considered to be on the list as one of the most attractive men? I could be looked at as the guy who can have it all when I'm the ideal expectation, even though I act like I got no sense in the matter of how I carry myself, and yet I still have a choice to even say anything at all. Playing into any category of genres as the one character people are familiar with. Always coming off like an asshole trying to prove myself to be better than every other dude, usually. But trying to tower myself over everybody cause I'm the rising star they looking up to. With every presumption of my reactions to the environment around me, and each social group that involves themselves to invoke the provoked, quote unquote, hoisting me up to a standard that might actually be impossible for me to reach. Either making me a symbol or a face of ridicule. It's easy to see me as the cliche that'll pop up in one too many articles. But funny enough, even though this was forever the portrayal, there's more layers to this these days that hasn't been mentioned as much. The fact that my physical appearance is more marketable appeal than my intelligence. So the only time I really have moments like this is when it's unexpected just to have that undercut with a joke. With the slight hint of not leaving that hanging as a fluke. Seems like I've been presented to the public as an accessory to fanatics and debating convos, to be an object of desire, easy on the eyes, and to have my way with being a leader to the wolf pack. I mean, I don't mind showing off the progress. I wouldn't mind giving people advice on channeling their best selves into someone worth living for. Offer some reasonable guidance while I'm also dealing with the pressures of keeping up my stamina to inspire the end results. What's expected of me to the point of also criticizing me is that I'll be in my talking my shit mood to become my bodybuilding confidence increased in stature to be someone's hero within the athleticism that I'm kicking, dribbling, or throwing. These great heights of the businesses that I have to fall in line with in the conveyor belt of rollouts as a product, selling products, and accused of using enhancing products, ready for me to step my flexing game up and give people that trademark chiseled winning smile. Powerful to look like that. Strength has impact in the regurgitating landscape. So while I've been showcasing the messy reality of a heartthrob, I wanted to flip the display of window shopping pains no matter how many weights I'm lifting. Stretches, push ups, sit ups, all the exercises under the sun. It always starts with the mind and the discipline to mentally find myself in a better place even on a regular day. I might see people I knew from way back and meet with new faces. And I think at one point I felt like I owe it to them, hoping that nobody mistakes me for going Hollywood or trying to hustle me out of my wallet, bank accounts, or stashes. Oh, well, hidden stashes. I'm being boxed in when my highs reaches my new lows, natural growth so I can drop mics and spit game to younger generations on how to invest in themselves, meaning they don't need to be out here slanging, gang banging, pimping out rides to pick up and sell out bitches and hoes. What's the real example I'm setting right now? Because if I can't keep it in my pants, every camera angle's the micromanagement and the scope of things. Yet, if I'm still complaining about keeping my revenue pouring in, therefore, I'm the one feeling entitled. But then if I got the pack behind me, I gotta live like an alpha, bringing out the wild side so when being behind the scenes, in the cut, in the background, the bachelor's pad, the lion's den, stalking the prey became the simple tradition. I guess that's part of the hazing that I'm going through to have been initiated. I call it prayers answered to praise my success stories from the very beginnings, where I was insecure for allowing these shadows of my personal demons to exist. What's the role that would really get me casted? More or less typecasted. The bully? The usual ideal masculinity that draws the line between psychological abuse and self torture? trying to project that hate and frustration onto someone else. Frustration. The jock that this could fit in branching off the first example plus with sports that I see myself higher so much so that everyone's below me and yet worship me since I've been on the come up. The obnoxious boyfriend, the guy that tries spicing up the relationship by effortlessly begging for hickeys and quickies, but also show off to everybody else like I'm trying to impress them, wanting to be the center of attention, till I see some other girls, then my loyalty suddenly abandoned. The murder victim, jump off to the lineup of the slaughter that foreshadows the backstories, the investigations by the law enforcement and detectives and the media press willing to stab me in the back should the opportunity arrive. The abused son, never really feeling like I had a father or a father figure to help me, to pick me up when I'm knocked down, to learn how to navigate life through his lens so I could take those lessons and apply them to my own. So instead, I'm beaten and verbally beaten just because I'm not who he wanted me to be to meet his approval. The mama's boy. So in case if I don't have a father or father figure at all, I can at least have the comfort of home since she's the one to deliver me into this world, a mother who will smother me with love but then ask for loyalty. Yet I still use her as a crutch, as a shield from the embarrassment I've experienced. The sex addict, playing with the laws of attraction when the girl in question could possibly leave me hanging, even though I'm manipulating her mind and controlling her body to penetrate through satisfaction till the tables turn against me as an offender or an assaulter. A businessman, trying to work my way up through the stats and status as I keep climbing the ladder within the food chain that the same confidence rises while my conscience falls. The husband, on top of being a father, if I planned on having kids, as if it's possible to keep up my end of the bargain with responsibilities that I have to handle and being faithful, hoping to provide emotional and financial support till I can't no more, cheating on my family and cheating on myself. The hopeless romantic, for the thought of marriage even pops up still thinking I found the one, as if no one has heard that already, believing that no other man could do what I do, what I'm willing to do, even if it's my life on the line, just to prove my love for her, only to later lash out from rejection just because I can't really distinguish the idea from the reality. A rapper, if I wanted to get some quick action on the fame, or I'm in it for the long haul, making a name for me, for recognition and getting a following, hell, a huge following just to keep dropping bodies of work. First time I come through, I ain't cool till I am. I find a different lane, then I'm expected to do the first thing again. The secret nerd that I dumb myself down to hide how smart I really am just to people please my crowd of hype men for they clown me. The hidden homosexual, that the true giveaway is the whole coming out of the closet aspects of trying not to get caught, to deny and put on a front. The many shades of the mentally ill, nihilist, narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, schizophrenia, and every antisocial characteristic that somehow appeals to the audience because of my charismatic attitude, knowing that I can deeply be a monster on the inside, no feelings at all. Although I actually have some sympathy even towards those who are worse than me, those that I bring close to me as I'm drawn in the sympathy to reach out, the God complex, in which feeds into the previous directly, having me to face my demons. Cause I want all the attention in the ways I could dissect a person or problem to solve everything like no one else, and no one knows everything like I do. Therefore, I'd alienate those I consider to be my only friends. The protector, believing myself to be like a superhero or just the average Joe that was at the right place at the right time, but really I'm a hoarder of being nice, means I get something in return. The singer, Or maybe the musician that every note carries a significant tone, establishing from my introduction to my staying power, enjoying the perks of letting loose till it comes back around to kick my ass backwards to square one? The cool kid, the try hard, wanna be hard, just trying to blend in with the popularity contest that has become the exaggerated swagger of my conceited thesis. But also standing out as I'm gassing them up, they return the favor, plus making excuses for my expenses on others' behalf just because of my appearance using my get out of jail free cards, benefiting off the crowd favoritism. The simp. Yes, the latest revamped term to go to the extremes in search of my justification for the hopeless romantic angle. Wishing that I could give her the world, expecting her to reward me. God, boy, reward me with a great fuck that she'll have to let me sweep her off her feet like she's my trophy and she owns me? The weak minded, when I can physically tackle and bulk up or scrawny with the heart of a lion scheme, and the eyes of the tiger see it green but lazily not really getting out my dreams. The male dominant cold feet that after I've scooped up from the litter and bagged up from the concrete while putting down visuals and laying out haymakers pie chart in the chain of command, let's just say that's too much ground to cover. But you've adjusted to already getting the point, so let's put a pin in that. As I'm trying to map out looking for fine prints in writing, searching for solid proof, I'm always wondering when the condescending accessorizing pandering's gonna stop and just allow people to look past the preconceived notions after being entertained by the recycled scripts of the familiar. There's gotta be more of a study on my story transcending the surface, scratching deeper inside. 'Cause they barely understood the misunderstood. I've given the list, but let me tell y'all, well, I should be anyway. I'm a person from young to old age. The older I get, the more I think about my younger self. Family, it ain't perfect, but I try managing it the best way I can so I can cope with my living conditions, mentally strained because of life itself. Too much isolation for me is on the deep end if I ain't careful. And if there's a chance that I could find love one day, the chase only begins when the one in question pursues. It's either me or her. How I show love to others that I don't have to be the same asshole from years ago. Not every guy out here is Breaking Bad and American Psychos, and that's all that's in the blend. The blended mixture from the hierarchy to the lowest common denominator. So with a fraction of us men that's hoping for the positives to take part and have fresh starts and see others in a whole new light, not hurting them as we're punishing ourselves, just bringing that same painful energy towards each other. I'm just trying to be open as I can be amongst closed lanes that takes aim at my brainstorm, that even with the climate change, they still trying to box me in. But here I am wanting to break out of the four walls. Instead of a screen to face, I want a face to face, although the health crisis circumstances have set limitations for human contact. We outside, keep it 6 feet. We at home, the splits further apart. But what does it mean for my purpose to be fulfilled now? Am I really satisfied with the outcome of how my real story is going to be depicted, documented, and each picked apart? To share my thoughts, to share my feelings, to explore who I am as a person, is to dive into the introspective, and not everybody's fond of that. Though it's necessary for these conversations, the stigmas that are going to be flipped perspectives. As much as I'm thinking about this along with my catalog, at first I was rushing, so this time I'm dragging till I pick up the pace that each snippet of learning curves. Back to the map I go on, drifting swerves. What used to be my plan B, my plan A returns. not wearing out one or the other, that maybe I can create a bridge, hold off the contingencies to cross at the nearest sighting, mentioning the highlights and the moments of cringe from Mr. Unknown to potential cult classic. Maybe I don't have the desirable attributes to put myself on it anyway, cause I'll only look like me.